Back in Crime and Punishment tonight, the parents of missing University of Virginia sophomore Hannah Graham released a video over the weekend where they called on anyone to step forward with any information on where she can be found. Here's part of that message.
Please, please, please help end this nightmare for all of us. Please help us to bring Hannah home.
Well, their plea comes even with an arrest in the case. Jesse Matthew is charged with abduction. As we reported last week, law enforcement sources tell CNN that DNA links Matthew to the rape and murder of a different woman in Virginia 5 years ago. We decided to dig into Matthew's past and found more surprises during his college years. Once again, here's Randy Kay.
Another Virginia college campus, another sexual assault accusation against Jesse Matthew. This time it was September 7, 2003, at Christopher Newport University in Newport News. Paul Tribble is the university's president.
A complaint was filed by a student. It was thoroughly investigated by our campus police.
The school can't say much, citing student privacy laws, but Tribble tells us the alleged sexual assault took place somewhere on campus. He shared this new information too. The alleged victim was a student, and she decided not to press charges. Still, he says, she did take part in campus disciplinary hearings, testifying against Matthew. The school couldn't divulge the result of those hearings, but Jesse Matthew was gone soon after.
A spokesman for Christopher Newport University says Jesse Matthew played football here for the CNU Captains from mid-August to mid-September 2003. He left the university about a month later. The school also says students don't usually leave the second month in the semester or leave the football team so quickly.
The university would not say if Matthew departed on his own or was expelled. For President Tribble, this is personal. His wife was raped back in 1973. Her attacker was never identified. Matthew had enrolled at Christopher Newport University in January 2003, shortly after leaving Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia, where he was questioned after a woman reported being raped while he was there in 2002. Investigators determined there wasn't enough evidence to charge him. It seems Christopher Newport University was unaware of that case.
Unless a student is in academic good standing and disciplinary good standing, we would never accept them.
And now Matthew's behavior is raising eyebrows off campus at the Newport News Police Department.
The timeline, the proximity of when he was occupied here is about the only link we have.
Chief Richard Myers is reviewing all missing persons cases that occurred while Matthew was attending college here, including the disappearance of 24-year-old Autumn Day. She was last seen shopping at this Food Lion grocery store on July 24, 2003. Her car was later discovered in the parking lot. Less than 2 months later, this woman, 31-year-old Sophia Rivera, also disappeared.
Rivera went missing after leaving her home in this neighborhood about 7 miles from the campus of Christopher Newport University. Just 5 days after she vanished, September 12, 2003, Jesse Matthew left the football team at the university. A month later, he was gone from the school.
Chief Myers has been fully briefed on both women's cases.
At this point, there isn't anything we've uncovered that in any way links to him.
But he isn't ready to stop looking yet, either.
Randy Kay joins us now. Were you able to find out ever if Liberty informed the next university?
Not exactly, Anderson. There's a lot of finger-pointing going on here. But what we know is that the NCAA requires that the school where the student is transferring from, the student-athlete, they have to send what they call a tracer form to the new university and say whether or not this student was in good academic standing and good disciplinary standing. And you heard the president of the new school, CNU, say, I would never accept anybody who wasn't in good standing. So we went back to Liberty University and we said, we would like to see the letter, the tracer form that you sent to CNU. Right. They said they don't have it anymore, that the NCAA doesn't require them to keep it after 10 years. But they also couldn't tell us whether or not they sent it directly, if it was ever sent, or if Jesse Matthew sent it. And then we don't know if it was complete, whoever sent it, were they forthcoming, did they give an honest assessment of his time at Liberty University, and if not, who had a hand in that, since we don't know if the letter was ever sent or by whom.